How's it going, everybody? Johnny Styles here with the Wellness Observer Live, and welcome to another episode. This is a very special episode because this is, believe it or not, the first time ever we will have a guest, a very special guest on the Wellness Observer Live. This person has revolutionized this year in the wellness division, and I have no other words just to say the doctor will see you now. After many weeks, we have her here. Not only this is something special for me and for all of you watching or hearing, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first ever special guest on the Wellness Observer Live. So mark it down on your calendars because there can only be one, and there's none other than the doctor will see you now. Miss Sunny Andrews is in the building. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course, finally, I think after many weeks or many months of talking, every now and then, just checking on you. And now we're here, and you are the new Pittsburgh Pro and New York Pro champion. So I'm going to get that out of the way quickly. How does it feel? Tell the world.
It feels surreal. I can't believe. Sometimes I'm waking up thinking, I can't believe that happened, or was that a dream? I'm not sure, but it feels so good. It feels so good.
Right. It's one of those things that you never even realized at the beginning of the year, and now you're the champ of two shows that people label as the top shows, in the East Coast. From those, what happened in your mind, because you relatively stay in shape year round? What sort of clicked on you to say, you know what, I think I'm gonna do these shows, I don't care?
So there was a little phrase that I saw somewhere, I wish I could remember when, but it just clicked in my head. It was, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? And I kept saying that over and over and over to myself, because there's been many times when I was getting ready for a show or doing something that took a lot of effort or was pretty intimidating, and I would be like, oh well, no, I don't think I deserve to get first. There's so many amazing girls that are competing, or I'm not there yet. But then after I got rid of that doubt and was sure of myself, and I said, if not, if it's not going to be someone else, it might as well be me. I'm putting in the work. And after I started believing in myself, and I kept saying that phrase every single, so many times a day, something clicked. And I think it changed how I trained. It changed how I focused. It changed it. I went from wanting to be a competitor to wanting to be the champion. And that was the mindset that I needed to go into those shows with.
Very cool. It's one of those, again, I keep seeing the same thing. It's one of the things that you don't even think about, because you're always I've seen you as a very positive person online, no matter what. And for you to say, you know what, I'm going to move forward, move positive into this situation. And now, again, you're the champ of both shows. Does it still sink in? Do you still wake up and you're like, holy shit, I just did this?
Yeah, it's kind of seems like it's a dream, but it feels really good. I don't think that, yeah, it feels really good.
Well, I remember you were a little bit hesitant in the weeks prior to New York, and one thing that made me realize the type of person you are is that you said, I want to be ready, and then you went from there and you went and said, no, but I want to win the show. So in your mindset, this was not like an average show that you just wanted to do just to prove yourself.
Yeah, getting ready for the Arnold, I had in my mind that I wanted to beat my last package. I wanted to do as well as I could, and it would have been great to win the Arnold. But I think that I wasn't at that point of really believing in myself yet. And I mean, super happy with the outcome of the show. It was an incredible lineup, everything like that. But then after I got off the Arnold stage, I just had this kind of epiphany to myself where I'm like, if I'm ever going to win, I have to believe that I'm going to win. I can't ever, there's no way that I'm going to get on stage and it's like a, oops, I won sort of thing. It's right. The competition is too steep now. You're not going to win by accident. Every single day when I was getting up for the Pittsburgh Pro and for the New York Pro, every time I was stepping in the gym, I was training with the mindset and the belief that, all right, I can see myself winning. I can see myself doing better. And it felt corny at first. And I kind of felt like, I don't know, like, oh, like, don't hype yourself up too much. Like, I was kind of taught to be not self-deprivating, where it's like, no, like, you don't deserve it. And then I just got rid of it. I just was like, screw it. I'm not going to think like that anymore. I'm going to think like, I'm putting in the work, I've put in the time, and I deserve it as much as anyone else. And then after that, it was like, I just wanted to prove it to myself that I could try, that if I believed something and I could do it, it would. And it's not just for me. Like, I wanted to do that and have that mindset, like, for my clients and other people. It's like how powerful your mind can really be.
Right. It's basically powerful. After you won Pittsburgh, did you feel different going into New York? For example, people say that when you win a championship, that's the top of the mountain, and then now you're becoming the hunted because now you're the champion. Did it feel different, or did you think that fire was even better moving forward to New York?
Oh, it set a fire. Yeah, it set a fire under my butt for sure. Right. I mean, as great as it felt, I unfortunately am always like, what can I do better? I got off stage at Pittsburgh. First thing I was like, went to the judges. What do I need to improve? What do I need to improve? Even at New York, never satisfied. I know I always can get better. And I mean, that's true for any competitor. That's the beauty of bodybuilding. But it made me think, okay, yeah, that was my best, but I know next time will be even better. So I was like, let's go.
Very cool. Okay. So now people look at you and you have, thousands of girls that, love your body and love your physique. But I've always wanted to ask you, did you play any sports growing up?
Oh, yeah. I played soccer and ran track, played soccer in college. I was a undefeated all-state 800-meter track athlete.
Wow.
All through undergrad. Yeah, 800-meter was my race. I ran 1500-meter too, but I mean, I played soccer much more than I ran track because I enjoyed the camaraderie and being part of. I liked how you would have to be creative and think of plays. And for track, it was just I was better at track, but I just thought it was such a lonely sport, and I didn't have the confidence that I have now. I think if I had the mindset now that I do when I ran track, it would have been a different story. I kind of sometimes I'm like, maybe I'll go back and go run track in the Olympics. I last time I was watching the.
You never know. You never know.
I don't know.
was that growing up? Is that what you wanted? You wanted to become more aware, try to be like a sports superstar, or you were already thinking about being a doctor?
Yeah, in high school, I mean, I was they don't really have women's professional soccer, but I loved soccer so much. I wanted to play, and I got into Columbia to play soccer there, and was wanted to really focus on that. But then some stuff happened, and things turned, and I was more focused on. I actually in undergrad was more focused on fashion design than medicine. I just took my prerequisites for medical school just in case.
Wow, look at you, the fashion designer.
Yeah, I was. I was trying to. My parents were always pushed. They're like, "You get good grades. You should, you should be a doctor." And I thought science, everything was cool, but I have an artistic side, so I wanted to try and pursue that. And so
you could say you're a very creative person.
I mean, I try. I think that there's. Yeah, I don't think, but by no means was I the best fashion designer by not at all. So I was like pretty run of the mill. Like my stuff wasn't like Gucci and Versace. So
almost. Well, you never know. Now you can do anything in life.
Yeah.
What was your first beginning like inside like a gym? What's the idea of a guy or girl grabbing a magazine, I want to look like that, or the story? What's the story of you actually joining a gym to change your body?
I was running long distance, and that was like my means of working out, and like 10 miles a day. Then I moved to the Caribbean for medical school, and it was too hot to run outside. I was running on the treadmill, and these Caribbean queens were all hip thrusting and squatting. And Johnny, let me tell you, they looked good. They looked
Wow.
really good. And
Wow, look
I
at
was
that.
like 95 pounds, and I was like, hold up. How do I look like that? Because what I
Right,
look like right now, I mean, I looked, like a toothpick.
right.
And I wasn't insecure. I didn't dislike my body, but I was just like, they look healthy, like they look good. Like I want to look like that. So I jumped literally that day, got off the treadmill, stopped, and started following this one girl around. And I just did every exercise that she did. And then I kept doing that every single day. I would go on my lunch break before class, and I would literally find the most fit person in the gym, and then I would watch what they did, and then I'd go do those workouts. And
Interesting.
yeah, and then after that I got on like bodybuilding.com, and
Right. I remember bodybuilding.com. Oh my God.
yeah, I would organize the exercises from like 10 out of 10 down for glutes. And
Right.
all I would do is I would do as many glute exercises as I had time to. And I would do that like every day. And I just trained glutes, only glutes, 7 days a week.
Wow.
For at least 2 to 3 years, I just did glutes.
Right. And that
Yeah.
and that brings me with, like, segue. Like, I think, in all honesty, because the reason why your glutes are so overdeveloped in a good way is because, I guess, even before this whole craziness started in America and made it legit and everything, thanks to somebody around. I think you already had glutes, and you had developed glutes, and you were training for it. And you did compete in the WBFF, correct?
Yeah, I did 4 shows with the WBFF.
What
I'm like,
what
F.
what was that connection like? Like, you were in the gym and somebody told you should do this show?
I didn't have Instagram or anything. Like when I started lifting, I lived in the Caribbean and came back. After I came back to the States, and every time I'd go to the gym, people would be like, how many weeks out are you? And I was like, weeks out of what? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you need to get on Instagram, you need to compete, you need to do a show. And I resisted and resisted. And I just was like, I'm just doing this for fun. And then someone's like, you would really like it if you're competitive. And after, like, you could like go to this thing called the Olympia. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
what? Oh.
Interesting.
And they're like, you could do really well. So anyways, I didn't even know I was so confused about the NPC.
Mhm.
Without having Instagram, it was like too hard to navigate.
Right.
But then with WBFF, I flew out. I was in medical school, flew out to LA, got my pro card, my first show.
Wow, look
It
at
was
that.
just, yeah, it was, but it's, you compete one time and you can get your pro card. So it was just different. It's a lot more of like a pageant like atmosphere. They don't call their competitors athletes. They call them, I think, models. I don't know.
Divas,
I don't
right?
remember.
Divas.
Yeah, divas, models,
Divas.
that kind of stuff. So, it just wasn't my scene. I'm like, have you ever seen Mean Girls?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, what's the girl who's the meanest of them all, Regina
Mean Girl,
George.
yeah.
You know how Regina George, like, she had to get her aggression out by like going and playing lacrosse.
Yep.
So I was like that with soccer, where I had my feminine side, but at heart I'm an athlete. So in WBFF they told me, like, you need to tame it down. Like you're gonna be like too muscular and you're gonna be like too lean. And I was like, yeah,
And
this isn't for me.
by those standards, you consider yourself small, correct?
I was
I mean, you had a good butt, but you were still small-ish.
yeah, I was small. I got my last WBFF show I got pretty lean, but I was small. I was very small. So I'm like, this isn't for me then, because I need to push myself.
Right, right. After
Yeah.
that, how did you end up, hearing about the wellness class and saying to yourself, "Hey, maybe this is the class that I'm looking for."
The second I heard about wellness, so I knew wellness existed in that other, what is it, elite something?
Well, yeah, before the IFBB Pro,
Mm-hmm.
the league was everything. Everybody was combined to the same, you know, industry, and then it kind of changed a little bit, and we had it more in Brazil as a like a model search type of thing, but it was still a
Yeah.
category
Yeah.
only in the Arnold and in their local shows. Latin America does it as well, but yeah, not officially here in America, because even when the IFBB Pro League was here in conjunction with Rafael Santoja's league, they still didn't approve of the category.
Ah, okay.
So,
Yeah.
so
You
now you
seem to
know
know a lot about this
a
wellness.
little bit. I think a little bit. So what
Yeah.
happened? So what when
Yeah,
you heard about it?
I saw what these girls looked like in the other division or the other federations. I really liked that look, and I was like, nobody is telling them that they cannot grow their legs. I was
Right.
like, that is what I need to do, because that was my thing. My legs, just playing soccer and track, and just my genetics. My legs are big. I remember being in 8th grade and being like, it's like embarrassed that my quads are too big. So like,
Having big calves.
yeah, so like it
That's
was just
crazy.
something that I thought it would be fun to train for. And then I saw all the girls that were gonna do it, Yarishna and Angela, and I'm like, this is gonna be huge. I
Yeah.
was like, if I could be one of the top wellness girls with these superstars, my life would change. This would be so cool.
Right.
So I jumped on the back. Switched ships. WBFF was gone, and I was like, peace out. I I did a 6-week prep for my first. I mean, I was figure, so basically I just ate a ton of food and got like way less shredded, and did my first NPC wellness show in end of September of 2020. It
Crazy.
was just like I had a blast. That Daytona show was so much fun.
Yeah, the Daytona show, and then holy genetics! You just ate a ton of food and you just grew.
It wasn't so much that I grew. I think I like maintained the muscle I had. It was like it was probably like not my best look by any means, but like I just went from being like figure lean to less shredded. So
Right.
I like still had some shape and it was there. And I could have waited and had a much more impressive package. I did not know how to pose, but like I think the pictures make it look way worse, because like I did like photo shoots around that time, and the photo shoots looked great, but
Right.
like my stage pics, like they were like
Yeah, I remember talking to you a little bit when we started chatting more, and you kind of didn't know anything.
no.
You were, and I'm not used to that because I'm used to girls knowing at least their class, the show, what do I need to do, the coach. And as the more I talked to you, it seemed like you were really coming like from the outside. It's like, well, I'm just a regular person that just wants to do a show. And I'm like, how can a regular person look this good and not even know anything about the industry? So coming up, and it doesn't have to be from the wellness class, but like around that time or even a couple years prior, did you have any inspirations of women that you look up to in the fitness world that you say, you know what, that kind of looks cool, I want to have like a little bit of shoulders or anything? Did you emulate, or you have any inspirations?
Okay. There was different body parts on different females, I think, that I really liked.
Right.
I've always admired Yarishna's core and her abs. And
Mhm.
I do very vividly remember seeing a photo shoot she did and being like, that looks like incredible. Like I would love to have abs like that. And then
So you didn't have abs.
yeah, I didn't. I had like a really not really like developed abs at all. So I was like wanted to have more developed abs. That was something I thought was cool. But then glutes, honestly, glutes wise, I just wanted to grow my glutes. That was it. Like I was like really just focused on my shape, because everyone's shape insertions are so different.
Mhm.
Um, I just wanted to see the evolution of mine, and I never like had glute envy.
Right.
Yeah.
When you got to the realization that you were gonna go to the Olympia, and you found out that the Olympia is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, eventually getting there, like, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, that it was I felt like everything in my life that I had done made sense. I had always wanted to push myself to be some type of successful athlete. And there was a lot of days and a lot of early mornings where I would wake up and, go do cardio for no reason, push myself extra in the gym. And I had kind of not really sure why I was doing it, besides the fact that, like, I had a hope that maybe one day I could do something with it. And then when I finally, got my Olympia qualification for the first time, I felt like, all right, all those years
Right.
were not wasted.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is something that I earned. So it just felt like all my hard work paid off. It felt really
Right.
good.
Awesome. And then in this year's Pittsburgh Pro, you had the chance to, make history, compete against your sister. How was that for a change? How did that feel?
It was really cool. It was being backstage with her, and then being able to, like, slap her hand when we were, like, coming on and off, and
Right.
her being the first person to hug me when I won. Those are things that are invaluable. I'll never be able to, there was a very, very special moment for me, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think when people see that photo, it's very emotional for everybody because again, not a lot of people can do that, and you guys, one way or another, the stars align, and you eventually did that, and
Yeah.
it is special. It's special. So it was super cool to see you guys up there, and for people and fans, that people didn't know exactly if that ever happened, but I think it was bound to happen, and I liked it as a fan as well. I think I liked it. A question that I wanted also to ask you, and this is like not fitness related. This is more about your doctor's life. Um, I remember certain people saying, and I've heard the saying before. It's like I know people that have wanted to become doctors and eventually fall out of love of the whole doctor medical career because apparently doctors don't cure people, they just treat symptoms, and I've heard that more times than I couldn't even know. So my question for you was like, being a health person, doctor, what is your favorite thing about that career that you actually fell in love with?
My favorite part about being a doctor is the privilege of someone trusting you, that you're going to really care about them and do everything in your ability to try and help them. And being able to have that connection with someone, having their trust, and getting to apply everything you've learned is something I found that you don't have in any other profession. I did a lot. I mean, I worked as a whole bunch of different jobs. There's a lot of people that went straight to med school and knew nothing else besides being a doctor. But I feel like I had the privilege of working in a lot of different waitress and all this kind of stuff. I was a medical tech, so that's medicine, but I worked in a lot of different jobs, odds and ends. But anyways, being my favorite part of being a doctor is having that real connection with people and actually getting to make a difference in their life, or at least trying to.
Right.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you can be the type of physician that treats symptoms and not people, but that's like putting a band-aid on it. Because if you're going to put a band-aid on someone's blister, you don't know that the reason they're having that blister is because their shoes are too tight, and their shoes are too tight because they have kidney failure and their, like, legs are swollen, and you don't realize that they're doing X, Y, and Z. So, like, trying to know someone and their whole picture, you can actually make a difference in someone's life. And I love that part of it, for sure.
Okay, very, very cool. Because now I can at least have a grasp on your take. And that's, again, it's very different from what I've heard. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that answer. So since we're in the medical field, I think, this is something that I can actually ask you because I would love to hear your opinion on it. Coming in, being new, learning about all the things that this industry, this hobby we call sport, has about, the whole chemical enhancement, and then finding out about the glutes and the fake glutes and the implants and the BBLs and the PMMA. Did you know anything about this before coming in?
I left the one of the main reasons I left the WBFF is because I don't know who's know about this, but I lost to a person who had very obvious implants,
Very obvious. Very obvious.
like Mr. Potato Head implants, like
Wow.
bam. And I was just like, well, my glutes, no matter how many hip thrusts I do, are never gonna look like that. And if that's what they're awarding, I'm gonna go to a federation that doesn't. Sorry, there's a loud motorcycle, but yeah, there's that's not gonna reward someone for having enhanced body parts that are supposed to be judged. So the my knowledge of PMMA, which is bone cement and muscles, was zero, because that's not approved. It's illegal. It's not approved in the U.S. And any physician that is injecting PMMA into people's muscles, they're doing so like under the table in the U.S. It's not allowed.
Right. So it's like you got to go to a different country, not the States, to do it. You, I believe, not only have seen pictures, have seen videos, you have seen people close up and personal. What's your feeling when you see? Do you believe it looks like a natural shape? Do you believe that it can be done? It's more like a look. In your opinion, does it look real? Because I know people that have girls that don't compete, that do the BBL and whatever. Some of them look pretty decent, and some of them look pretty terrible.
So there's a spectrum. I think that so I can tell 100% when someone has PMMA. I know what the shape looks like. I know how it sits. I know where they're supposed to inject it. I've just seen it enough times that, as like someone who has studied the anatomy of glutes inside and out, so that I can not only train my glutes to be better, but like all of my clients, I can tell when someone's are enhanced in an unnatural way. But anyways, you can see people who have PMMA that's placed nicely, and then you can see people where it was either like someone who was not well trained, or it started to migrate. A lot of times what happens is it encapsulates, almost kind of like when women have implants and they get capsular contraction. With PMMA, it can encapsulate into the muscle, and the only way to get rid of it is to excise that portion of the muscle. And someone's going to have a huge hole in their butt, like another one. But anyways, it can cause you to have these like tennis ball like formations, and that looks real bad.
Right. So it's safe to say that you don't recommend doing any of this.
No, I don't. I mean, if someone wants to enhance their shape and they're not competing, I think a safer alternative is Brazilian butt lift, which still is not. It's like legal in London because a lot of people get fat embolization, but it's much safer than inject, because it's your own fat. So it's not a foreign body. And it's very, very common. So if like someone wants to change their shape, let's do a BBL. But if you're trying to, enhance your muscles and you think putting cement in them is a good idea, I would highly recommend, discourage people from doing that. Yeah.
Right. Well, you heard it there from the doc herself, not from me, but from her, and she's qualified in my book. You as well, winning, coming out of nowhere and winning and walking the way you walk on stage or used to walk. You got not anymore. You got a little bit of heat, as we call it, because people thought that your glutes were enhanced as well. What went through your mind when you heard that?
You know how flattered I was. So flattered, so flattered. I have been, when I started training, like lifting weights, someone took a Snapchat. I used to have Snapchat of me from behind while I was getting ready and had on a bikini, and they circled my glutes and said, this is what you need to grow. Your butt is not big enough. It's like someone just trying to help me out or bully me or whatever you want to say. And I thought to myself, oh, okay. Like, you want to see someone have big glutes, a big butt, you challenged the wrong person. So, someone tells me some things that, and if I agree, if I was like, no, my glutes are great. I looked at the picture and I thought to myself, that's true. My glutes are not big. My glutes could be bigger. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to train. So when people said that my glutes were fake, or still say that, I think it's so flattering because I've worked so hard on them, so hard. So like, if they look fake, that's like great, awesome, cool.
That's a good compliment then.
Yeah, it's so flattering.
I was around that time also that, it's like I always say, and I've said it a million times, it's like, either you love her or you hate her, you like her, you don't like her. She's a magnificent athlete with a tremendous fighting spirit. I always said that. And it's one of those things that when you were surrounded by that commotion and everything, there was like, it's like everything. No, there's people that like you and people that don't like you. Is there anything online that made you really angry? Like really, really angry?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because it's either people saying stuff, they either think they know me and they're saying stuff that's not true. And then they dislike someone who they don't even know. So like I can't take that personally, or it's someone just lying and I'm just like, if someone's gonna lie, it means that they care enough to try and have people follow their opinion, and it comes with the territory. I was like, either you don't like me and I don't care because I probably don't like you. I'm like, you like me and that's great because I probably love you, or you don't know me. And if you don't know me, then your opinion really, is invalid because how could you possibly make an opinion? So at this point, it's just like, I'll see stuff and I pretty much just like rolls off my capped delts, and that's about it.
That's awesome. You capped out. Oh my God, here we go. So now you've established yourself as the top of the top in that nobody can say anything, and you have not only you have a fan base, but you have an even bigger fan base. If you had to give any special tips to the girls that that you inspire, there are a lot of young girls watching your clips on a daily basis, your Instagram, your YouTube. What is like the number one tip? Because I always tell girls that when you're doing bikini, if you like training hard, and this is what you want, then okay, go for it, whatever. But you're now an established competitor. Knowing what you know now, what is your tips for like amateurs that want to follow your footsteps?
I would say, I mean, and I'm sure everyone's heard this before, know what your why is and remind yourself of it all the time. And have a big plan, have a short-term plan. I have my like notebook. Every single morning I wake up, I write out, exactly what I'm going to do for the day. I have my short-term goal, medium-term goal, and long-term goal. And all of those things have to align. If your short-term goal is to like go out and party, but then your long-term goal is to like be the president of the United States, and your plans don't align, you're never going to get to your long-term goal. So for me, it's just like constantly reminding myself, what do you want to do? How are you going to do it? Is it going to happen if you're doing, the right things? And that's pretty much it. And if you don't end up getting to your long-term goal, but you were doing all these things that were putting in hard work, it's going to pay off in one way or another.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned for sure, is like, no matter what, your hard work is going to pay off, and you don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
You hope that it's going to be what you wanted, but most of the time it's not. But it's not time wasted.
The universe will bring it to you.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't know. We don't know how, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna manifest, right?
Yeah.
So manifesting into you going to the Olympia. How is your mindset moving forward as we get closer and closer to Miss Olympia?
Never better. My mindset's never been better, because this is personal. This year is, I feel, time for me to prove to myself that if I believe in myself, what's in my way. Like I said, I'm sticking with that same mantra of, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? So I'm just going with that. Balls to the wall. Gonna try as hard as I can. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah. An ex Mr. Olympia, he's no longer with her. Sean Roden said that. That was his mantra as well. And eventually he did win the Mr. Olympia. So You're on the right path. If you could turn
Cool.
back time to your 18, 17, 16, 20-year-old self, would you tell that girl something different moving forward in life?
Yeah, I
What would you
would tell
tell?
her to listen to herself. I'd say there's
Wow,
so
good.
many times where I would,
Interesting.
yeah, and I'm not always right by any means.
You're human.
I've made all the mistakes, but the thing is, every single time I let other people get in my head or have taken advice from other people. Sometimes it works out, but I'd say most of the time it's if I listen to myself and my gut instinct, man, I would have been so much better off. And it's like, if I could just go back to that time and be like, hey, you know what's up. Like,
Mhm.
listen to yourself. You know what you want. Just listen. Trust your instinct. If I could go off that, I think that I would have avoided a lot of hardship.
Were you ever like a confident person growing up?
Yeah, I've always been outgoing
Okay.
and confident, but it's this kind of juxtaposition being of being a perfectionist. So no matter how good at something I was, I always, even now, I'm always like, but could you do better? Yeah, probably. So
Interesting.
it's like, you only can get so far if
Right.
you don't really push yourself to be like, you got this, you got this.
Okay. As a fan of the class itself, is there a girl right now that you're a fan of the body? It's like, competitor aside,
Yeah.
you scroll your phone like, oh my god, that's a body that I like great body in our wellness class.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so freaking many.
Well,
I
the
there's
first
they
five that come to mind.
and they just blow my mind. I mean, the top girls. I mean, Issa at the Arnold was just untouchable. So beautiful.
Beautiful.
Like Francielle, especially when she won the muscle contest,
Yeah.
so feminine but strong. Like, just I thought Urishna at the Boston Pro, her silhouette, that
Mhm.
tapered waist, her glutes looked amazing. Obviously, like Angela's just like a beast.
Mhm.
Her proportions they're nuts. She
Mhm.
looks like a superhuman. Like there's just so many girls, and then those are like the top girls. But then the girls, right? Ryan, is that how do you say the girl
Yeah,
from Brazil?
Ryan Fogal, which I posted the other day.
Freaking insane! Like these girls are incredible, and I am just in awe. I see their Instagrams, and I mean, I know they're the real deal, and I just appreciate the work that
Yeah,
goes into those physiques because I know, and I'm like, man, like
right.
that's to be
But
on
I think
stage with them is that's
right.
humbling for sure.
But I think that's why you are, and I said it, I think you're the only one right now that can do battle with those beasts because again, I think you had a head start before all the other girls were training glutes and training hams and training quads the way you're doing it. You had like an upbringing even before we had a class. So I think
Yeah.
that's what sets you apart. Um, we are almost out of time, almost. But what's the most important thing that you have learned in your life at this moment?
The most important thing that I've learned in my life
Yes.
that there is not a lot of time, and that is life goes by so fast. And if you don't do what you want and follow your heart, it is the opportunities and pass you by. Someone wants to compete, someone doesn't want to compete, someone wants to go on a trip to Japan, like don't wait. The
Right.
most important thing I've learned is like just follow you have to follow your heart.
Life is too short.
Yeah. Life is too short.
Nice. Very nice. Do you like the blonde Sunny or do you like this dark haired Sunny?
I feel like supercharged with dark hair. Like I feel like when I had light hair, I was like trying to be like I'm nice, Sunny. Like I had it for a long time, but then after I just got my dark hair, and it's like my natural color. Like it matches my eyebrows.
Right. People thought that you were actually a blonde first.
I don't know, which is crazy. My mom is naturally has light hair, but for me, when I was a kid, I had dark hair. I finally kind of feel like I'm coming into my own.
Into your own. Okay.
So
So it makes sense.
yeah, it took some getting used to. Like I'll see myself in a mirror and be like, she looks like, oh, that is me. Like I would see I thought it was someone else.
Interesting. Is there other like career in your mind that you would like to follow? Like aside from fitness, aside from the doctor, says something else. Because again, I think and I feel from you, you're a very creative person, and you have plenty of ideas, and you're always thinking. You're always thinking, and you're always any little detail you can like take out and do this idea. You're always thinking. So, is there any other career path that you would like to like I don't know investigate?
Yeah, acting. So I am actually, I've always wanted to be an actress, and I have been getting into it a lot more lately, and recently landed some exciting roles, and people will see them soon. So I'm just looking to see how this unfolds. And that kind of goes back to what I was just saying, like life's too short. I was presented with these really exciting opportunities, these acting opportunities, and the timing was not great. And I was just like, but if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? They're not going to call me and be like, hey, like we're going to postpone everything. Maybe we'll want you when you're ready. No, like I jumped on a plane, I took off.
Are you more of a movie fan or a series fan?
Whatever they want.
No. You personally, like, what do you like to watch? You like more of a movie girl or more like a series girl?
I watch TV series while I'm doing cardio or doing chores. And I think I did that for a long time because I thought I was studying how to be a good actress. But I love. So I would.
Who's your favorite actress?
Yeah. Oh.
There's gotta be always someone. There's gotta be someone that sticks out in your mind and say, "Oh, I like how she acts. I like her movies. I like her directions."
Yeah, that's a good question. Who could I? I mean, I like Scarlett Johansson. I think that she's a really great actress. But I like Angelina Jolie. I think she's a really great actress.
Some people say that you kind of resemble her sometimes.
Yeah, it depends. I think that's super flattering. But yeah, she's stunning. But I don't know. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. But yeah, there's a lot of different actresses. But then I love going to the movies. I love movies too.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. That's a good question.
Come on, top 3 off your head that you can watch over and over, and you won't get tired of the movie.
Oh God!
Come on.
Yeah. All right. I'm thinking. Shoot. I haven't recovered from prep brain fully yet.
I just stumped you. All right, we'll save it. We'll save it for the next time. Okay. Sunny, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to actually sitting down with me doing this interview. We've been trying to do this for a very, very long time. I have tons and tons of questions and tons of in-depth questions that I want to do to you, and I want to get more up close and personal, because I think people need to know more about you and about your personality and your beliefs a little bit more than just the competitor, because I think you have to offer a little bit more. I'm really happy about your journey, and I'm really happy where you're at right now in your career, not only physically but emotionally and mentally, because I think that before you had all the tools in the world to get where you wanted to get, but it was something, in my opinion, there was something here that was not getting clicked on. And now when I talk to you, I feel that I'm talking to a different person. So I am really happy for you. I'm really happy that you did this shows, because again, you proved that that's the only way you can get better. And what better way of proving that to the world than doing all these shows?
Yeah. Thanks, man. That means so much to me. Thank you so much, Johnny. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a really good place mentally and emotionally too. And that's it. Like if your head's not right, your body's not going to ever follow. You can have a great body, but you're not going to have your best. So it's like, that was the most important to me. I was like, if I'm going to ever get to the next level, up here has to be on board. Like I had to believe in myself.
Right. So with those words, I want to thank Sunny one more time, Dr. Sunny Andrews, for being right here at the Untitled Chapter Live. This has been Johnny Styles, and we'll see you soon.